Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to speak a little bit further about buttons, and in particular about a problem that can come up when you have a passage whose name has a space in it. So let's go through the format for a button command. As discussed in the previous video, you have less than button, B-U-T-T-O-N, then you have quote, the text that you want to appear on the button, and another quote, and then you have the name of the destination passage, then you have greater than. In here you can put some extra code if you want to, so some things that happen when the button is pressed, but you don't have to do that. And then when you've done that, or if you decide not to do that, you have less than slash B-U-T-T-O-N greater than. But a problem arises when you have a destination that has a space in it. And I've got this example here. So let's run this little program and I'll show you. We'll just look at the first button and I'll show you the problem. So when we click on that, it says error, the passage does not exist. So what it's done there is it's looking at the destination, and it only takes that as being the destination. It takes the space as being the end of the destination. It basically treats it as if it was that, and then because there's no passage called just passage, you get an error. So this is a problem that web pages had. Sometimes web pages had spaces in them, and the way that they dealt with that is that they treat, instead of having a space as a character, they have %20, and %20 the browser knows to treat that as a space. And so if you know that, if you're familiar with HTML, you might think, all right, well maybe I'll have a destination that is passage %22. So it's passage, but it'll look at that and know that %20 means space, and therefore it'll go to passage space 2. Well, that's what I've done in this second example. Well, let's give that a go. So what's happened there is we've gone somewhere, but we've gone to passage %22. In other words, it hasn't converted the %20 as a space. You can have %20 if we get out of this code and have a look. We've gone to this passage where we intended to go to this passage. So you can use %20 in the titles, but it won't recognize it as meaning space. It'll just take it as literally part of the title. And the same is true. You might think, well, maybe the problem is that we had %20 and then the character 2 immediately. Maybe it was treating that as %202. So what if I do passage %20 TWO? Well, that won't work either. It just treats the %20 as being part of the title. So you might think, well, I know what I'll do. I will just not have passages that have spaces in them, or at least I won't if they're the destination for a button. And of course, that works. There's no problem there. But it can be quite limiting. Sometimes you do want, sometimes you do want spaces. Now, you could say, well, whenever I want a space, I'll have a underscore instead. So I'll have passage _2. And again, that would work, but, sometimes you want spaces. So what you can do is simply put the name of the passage in quotation marks. So quote, P-A-S-S-A-G-E space 2 quote. It won't count the quote as part of the title. It will try to go to passage space 2. So let's have a look at that. This one here. And we can see that yes, when you put it in quotes, it will work. It will go where you intended to go, i.e. whatever the text is that's within those quotes. So that's the message. That's just something I discovered as I've been updating the Mini Rogue adaptation, and I noticed that there was a problem with that. So if you encounter that, that's how to deal with it. Basically, short answer, unless you want to work around it by not having spaces in any of your passage names, you need to put the destination in quotation marks if it has spaces. So I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.